So on this video, I want to bring you some depressing news, but then I want to bring you a really clear solution to this depressing news. And it's really around an ingredient that is allowed in our foods that is not only an endocrine disruptor, but it's cancer causing. And it's time to call these ingredients out. So, and this ingredient that I'm going to go through is actually still allowed in the US, but it's been banned in Japan, Europe, Canada, and Australia. So if you don't come to the US and you live in one of those other countries, I guess you could click off this video and you could go to one of my other videos. But for those of us that live in the US, we have to get to know this ingredient because it is destroying your health. But also, it's time for us to vote with our dollars. And when we know about ingredients like the one I'm about to tell you and we stop buying it, eventually that is a message to these food companies that keep putting these toxins into our products. So it's time for us to get educated so this stuff gets pulled out. And then we vote with our dollars. Deal? Here is the toxic ingredient. I'm going to give you the long chemistry name. Wish me luck on pronouncing this one. So it's butylated hydroxytoluene, or otherwise known as BHT. Another way you'll see it in an ingredient list is BHA. And here's something really ironic and not so funny, but interesting. I grew up in the 1970s. I was born in 1969, and my mom used to play a grocery game with me. And the grocery game was, she taught us that from the moment that we read a label or could read, she taught us how to read an ingredient label. And there were some parameters around what we were allowed to put into her food basket. This is back in the 70s. And sugar was a big one. We couldn't have sugar in the top 4 ingredients. And it couldn't have nitrites, it couldn't have red dyes, and we couldn't have BHT or BHA. So thank you, Mom, for knowing how to teach me how to read a label at a very early age. So BHT, here's the problem with it, is that it is a known endocrine disruptor. 2021, the European Union declared BHT a known endocrine disruptor, meaning that it will destroy your body's natural hormonal rhythm. Okay, wow, there's a lot to say on that one statement, because everything that I am teaching in Fast Like a Girl, it was about coming back into your natural hormonal rhythm. And so, and we talked about the food and the videos I've done and the podcast interviews I've done. I've talked about how women need to get into our hormonal rhythm. But when we're eating foods that have BHT in it, we're actually disrupting our natural rhythm. When it disrupts our natural rhythm, your body doesn't know how to break BHT down. So you know where it stores it? It stores it in your belly fat. So it's going to get stored, it's going to increase your weight gain, which is, I know many of you are working so hard to lose weight. Second thing about BHT is that it is a probable, according to research, I'm going to tell you a lot of probables here, it is a probable carcinogen. Okay, so this is the study. There was a study showed that it had the potential to create thyroid cancer. There was another study that showed it caused colon cancer. Another study that showed it contributed to lung cancer. Let me see if anything else. Nope, those were the 3 main cancers: colon, lung, and thyroid. That's enough for me to want to stay away from BHT. So where do you find BHT? Well, there's some really common places. One of the first one is dried fruit. So if you've been following me for a while, I don't really recommend dried fruit very much, other than dried apricots, because they can be really helpful in promoting estrogen. But I always say make sure they're clean, they're not filled with chemicals. So dried fruit, nut butters, a lot of nut butters, hummus, the packaged hummus. So make sure that in other dips, it's a flavor enhancer. It also improves shelf life. So that's one of the reasons they put it in our food, is then it doesn't spoil as much. Cured meats. So always making sure when you're looking at your salamis and some of your deli meats, make sure sausages, bacon, make sure there's no BHT or BHA in it, all because they want to improve flavor and they want to extend shelf life. So it's profit driven. So start every food you pick up, you should be looking at the ingredients in it. And let's start by getting BHT out of our diet. Let's put that back on the shelf. In fact, right now, what I want you to do is go to your pantry and go and look and see if anything in your pantry has BHT in it. And if it does, throw it out. And if it's your favorite food, I'm sorry, let's keep trying to find. In fact, if it's your favorite food, let's do this because we're a community here. I want to support you. I want you to go to your pantry, look and see if you have any BHT-laden products. If it's your favorite one and you're crying and you're sad, come back to this video and I want you to put what you discovered. Maybe it was your favorite cereal. Maybe it was your favorite bread or your favorite potato chips. And let me help you find a healthy alternative, okay? Okay, I got to interrupt this video because I have a free guide for you so you can master fasting. It's called A Beginner's Guide to a Fasting Lifestyle. And all you've got to do is click here and you can jump right in. And so I want to know if there's something out there that has a toxin in it that is destroying your hormones and is contributing to cancer. I want to give you a healthy alternative, but I need your feedback. So let me know what food you discovered. Now, last thing that I really want to emphasize is that reading ingredients is pivotal. And there are a lot of ingredients that have ingredient lists that have these ambiguous statements in it that they hide things like BHT in it. One of the greatest conversations I had on my Resetter podcast last year was with Vani Hari, the food babe. She's an incredible resource for ingredients. So if you don't follow her, go read her books, get her cookbook. Like, she is my ingredient hero. And she taught us on my podcast that one of the things you have to look out for when you're reading an ingredient label is a phrase called natural flavors. That natural flavors is now where they are hiding things like BHT. So as I guess it's allowed. That seems like, why is our food organizations not protecting us? That's a whole nother conversation. But they can sneakily hide some of these horrible ingredients in the word natural flavors. So if you see natural flavors in something, here's what I recommend. Write the company, send them an email and say, okay, what is in here that comprises or makes up natural flavors, and see what they say. There you go, BHT. It is one of the worst toxins, and let's get it out of our diet, but we have to be aware of it. And this is one of those videos that I know will be life-saving for many people. So if you are like, your mind is blown right now, go ahead and share this video with somebody, and let's start to have this conversation. It's really interesting for me to see people build these fasting lifestyles, and they're losing weight, and then they're eating junk that is contributing to poor health. And so I'm over here now. I'm over here in the sugar burner system, really working on educating you. We've had a several year conversation about the fat burning system. We're now going to have this year, it's 2024, depending on when you're watching this video. This year, we're diving into the sugar burner system. How do we clean this up? And it starts by understanding toxic ingredients like BHT. And I just want to end this where I started this. Shame on the FDA for allowing this to go into our foods. Please stop toxifying us. Stop allowing this to go into foods so that food companies can get profits. We need to start thinking about people's health. And until our FDA is willing to do that, we have to take back control ourselves and get to know these ingredient lists. And everything I do on this channel going forward is going to continue to break these ingredients down for you. I have a whole book on these ingredients coming to you. I have a whole book on foods you need to avoid that are destroying your hormones that are coming to you. But it is time for us to wake up and realize that just because something is in a grocery store doesn't mean that it's safe. We have to start to become detectives and understand what this crap is that they're putting into our food. Okay? I hope that helps.